Green.
Good morning. My name again is Dr. Natasha Baker, and I'm very proud and excited to be the new superintendent of Norwalk-La Mirada Unified School District. I am a former teacher, dean, principal. I've been a chief academic officer. I've worked in state government in Michigan, where I had an opportunity to learn a lot about policy and report in the governor's office. And I always knew that I wanted to have high impact in communities that reflected my upbringing, that really cared about kids and the future of students. And so my initial thought when I wanted to come to Norwalk-La Mirada is that I wanted to be a good fit for the community that I serve. I had an opportunity to be raised in an environment that was very reflective of how our students, for the most part, grow up in Norwalk. But after getting a fabulous education, I also very much understood what it was like to have access to opportunities that are more reflective of what we see in La Mirada. And the truth is that as I grew up in a single parent household, when I was 12, my brother had passed away, he was murdered. My sister struggled in school, and I had other brothers who were addicts. But I knew that if I went to school and got a great education, that I would be able to provide a sustainable lifestyle for myself and have a great job in an environment that would allow me to do for others what I was allowed to do for myself through a high quality education. And so having gone to Long Beach State as an undergrad, I got into teaching right away at Centennial High School in Compton, California. And then from there, I just felt like I didn't know enough, right? I wanted to go back and further my education. And so I went to Howard University and got an English degree in literature. From there, worked in New York City, which is one of the largest education systems in the entire country. And also finished a doctorate at University of Michigan, and most recently finished a finance degree at Johns Hopkins University, which is one of the largest, most well-known universities in the nation. Very competitive, very hard to get into. And when I was in that program, what I learned is that there were a lot of people from different walks of life than where I'm from, right? A lot of students there come from all over the country. They speak multiple languages. They come from families that have a whole lot of resources, very different from my upbringing. And so what I learned there was not just around curriculum instruction. I wanted a finance degree because I wanted to be able to understand how to provide the resources necessary to make sure that our kids can access opportunities, because it's not just about quality instruction. We have to have the resources, the money to make sure that students and teachers have what they need. And so recently finished that degree. My last job was in Fresno Unified School District, where I was the chief academic officer. And Fresno has about 70,000 kids. I was the chief academic officer over 100 schools. And my budget was about it was over $580 million. So it was a very, very large school system. And in that role, what I learned a lot is about systems and how it's important that we understand that moving a school system forward isn't just about one person, right? It's not just about one teacher, one board member, one superintendent, one student. It really is about how people work together, regardless of our perspective and our values, to build on our incredible successes. So we've got some great schools in Norwalk-La Mirada. I'm super proud of the opportunity that I have to support our students and our families. And I wanted to just share with you what my first 90 days actually look like, right? Because you get a job, big job like this, you want to make sure that you're very transparent and you're meeting people, but folks also need to know what you're doing, right? And so what I did is I created a 90-day plan. And typically any leader of an organization, you all are business leaders, so you know this, any leader of an organization, you join a group, you start your own business, you want to be clear about the plan going forward. And so what I did is I created a 90-day plan, and what it shows, and I'll give you a copy in just a second, is 3 big goals, right? And the first big goal basically speaks to listening and learning. You don't want to come to a community and just think that you're going to bring your experiences and do whatever you want to do, right? Life doesn't work that way. You got to work with people. And so the first goal is to listen and learn, to connect with our teachers, our staff, our community members, to better understand what's important. What are the values that are important? The second major goal is about teaching and learning. We want our students to be future ready, right? We want them at an early age to be starting businesses, to be thinking through how to use technology to move things forward. There will come a time where a lot of the entry-level jobs that we had when we were kids won't exist anymore, because technology will replace everything, right? And so you've got to be creative, you've got to understand how markets work and how banking works in order to build on our artificial intelligence that we now know today. And it's only going to be more advanced. As you can see, our entrepreneurs are getting younger and younger, which is excellent, right? But they're ahead of the game, and we want every kid to have access to that. So understanding teaching and learning, how computer science filters in, how advanced learning or machine learning is a part of our education system is going to be incredibly important. And then my third goal is really about partnering, planning with partners, right? And so we collect all this information, we're doing listening sessions from parents, the community, and all of that good stuff. We're thinking about our instructional landscape, what we offer, what teachers are creating, right? Give it up for our teacher here from La Mirada. On top of his regular duties, he's here early in the morning. He's working with our students because he's thinking about the future and what they're going to have access to, right? And again, it's going to be very different than how we grew up and what was available to us. And so this is an incredible program that he's working on, and we want every kid to have that kind of opportunity, right? To own their own business, to design their own business. So the third goal is about partnering with the community to develop some planning processes, right? To understand where we are, where we're going, and what does future ready really mean, right? Because it's not going to mean sitting at a desk for 40 years for retirement for the vast majority of kids coming up. Many kids probably don't want to do that anyway. They want to run their own businesses, right? And they want to use technology to advance the things that they're most proud of. And so what I've done is I've just printed this out for all of you. I'm going to have some help just handing these out, and then I'm going to give you a couple minutes to thumb through it, and then we're just going to kind of look at a few of the pages here. So.
Congratulations. I was going to come over, but they started the meeting. So how's it going?
I'll keep a smile on.
Yeah, well, I am.
Got her walking around.
Oh, those fireplace people, you guys all.
Okay, if we can have your attention, please. You're on.
So what you have in front of you is also available online. If you go on our website, nlmusd.org, you'll be able to click right on the front page to see a quick video and then an electronic version of this document, and it's in 3 languages to make sure that our parents who are Spanish speakers or Korean speakers can also review the plan. And so if you take a look at pages 3 and 4, you have the mission and the vision of the entire school system, right? This predates me. The mission tells us what we're after. The vision tells us the future, what we want things to look like. And you see a list of our board members, one of which is here. Give it up for Mrs. Langenwalter. Very supportive board. It lists their trustee areas and their role on the board. And then there's a message from me that kind of just describes what I said at the beginning around the purpose of a 90-day plan. It's really just a tool to say, here's what my life is going to look like for the first 90 days on the job. And then the 3 goals that I shared with you. Engaging our stakeholders to build relationships and trust. Sustaining excellent teaching and learning and performance by learning about the programs that we have and where we want to go in terms of instructional practices to prepare our kids for the future, a future that is being designed as we speak, right? And then planning with partners to foster student and staff well-being. We want our teachers and our staff to be in healthy, safe environments that foster learning for the future. And then what you see in the subsequent pages are details around how I plan to achieve these goals. Now, I know that some will look at this and say, this is pretty ambitious for 3 months of work. But the idea is that I work through our great team members. We have Dr. Zhang here over curriculum, our college and career readiness. We can clap for Dr. Zhang. We recently put on an elementary expo, and we had hundreds of parents and kids show up, which was awesome, at the near the La Mirada theater. So that was awesome. Activity center, thank you. And so what you see in the subsequent pages are details around actual actions that I'm going to be taking in order to achieve these goals. And so page 8 speaks to how I'm building relationships, the purpose of doing that, the outcomes, and will relationships be built in 90 days? Some, but it takes time to build trust and relationships. But what this says to the community is I'm working toward that, right? Working to understand who the communities are and giving different folks an opportunity to get to know me as well. And these are some processes that I'm using to get there. The next page is around teaching and learning. Our core business is educating students, and so this page, like the others, is incredibly important because our core business is around how do we educate students, what does learning look like, and where do we want it to go, right? And so me spending time around computer science and understanding what our course offerings are, understanding the type of opportunities that students have that are here today is incredibly important. So positive things that are going on with instruction and student achievement, but we also want to know where our gaps are, where our growth areas are, right? Where are we going to kind of push ourselves in order to actually define future readiness? What does that even mean for us? And so these are some activities I'm going through now to better understand that. And so time with students and families and the business community is incredibly important to that. And then the last one, planning with partners, to foster student and staff well-being. That's on page 10. And here are a list, and this goes into March. It includes board input, evaluating existing after-school summer and curricular activities. Safety has been a concern for some. We recently put out some information on immigration. On Friday, you saw marching on the 101 over the weekend, and the idea is that we wanted parents and students in the community to know that as a school system, and this is part of the safety component, we don't actually have citizenship or immigration information. You are not allowed to collect that from a kid or a family. And so we needed teachers who were afraid they didn't know what to do. We wanted to make sure that they knew the protocol and the law And part of the law basically says that if a kid is, not a kid, but if ICE comes to a school district, we wanted parents and kids and staff to know what to do, right? And so part of what to do is understanding that an organization can serve a subpoena. That subpoena for our school district has to go to our general counsel. We actually have in-house general counsel, our lawyer for the district, and then steps are taken from there. But we do have protocols in place where around safety, not just for that sort of thing, but for activities in the neighborhoods as well. But that information went out to the community. If you're on our listserv, you received it. There's also a list of services for students and families, as well as what to do if you're a staff member. Teachers had shared that they were concerned about what to do, and so we provided that direction. And so safety and well-being is important, not just from a student and family component, but also from our staff. You know, our staff, again, were concerned, and that was just an example of how we supported them in that space. Here are some opportunities for me to learn more, not just about safety concerns in the communities, but also around achievement and discipline. Gathering feedback from students and staff is a part of this whole process, and gathering feedback about professional learning and what staff want in that regard. And so I wanted to share this document with you again as a transparency component to the work, just to give you a heads up about how I'm spending my, well now 60 days. Friday marked my official 30 days on the job. So I have about 60 days left of this plan. And at the end of this plan, what you can expect is a report out to the board that basically shares progress and then some next steps. So collecting the information and then identifying some next steps in terms of recommendations and a way forward to address the concerns and the ideas that folks are sharing with me. So that is what I wanted to share with all of you today. Any questions for me at all about anything I said or didn't say, curiosities about anything with the school district? I'd be happy to sort of answer or respond to any questions or comments. Yes.
Hi. Lewis, one of the board members at Cerritos College.
Yes.
And your third part talked about making connections with partners.
Yes.
We'd love to partner with you in your administration continuing forward. So I know you have a lot on your plate. We have one campus, you have 32.
Yeah.
So when you make time, either in March or whatever, we'd love to have you on campus. We'd love to have a meeting with you, talk about how we continue to streamline your kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love to do that.
So it's not a question.
Yeah. A meeting invitation.
Yes.
Excellent. Couple others. I know I shared quite a bit.
Yes, I do have a question. I was speaking with Bishop Ed before breakfast, and he was telling me about his project, Mirada project. Are there special resources and or courses where you could also extend help to his girls?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be scheduling a time with Bishop to learn more about the program and how he's serving us students and the women and young men that he's working with. We do have an adult school. We have community partners, so it's just a matter of us getting together and making those connections to make sure folks have the services that they need. Others?
Question back there.
Yes.
So I have 2 kids in the district. Why do the teachers requisition school supplies from parents? Is that being addressed?
This is the first I'm hearing about that, but I'm going to take your information to learn more. Are you referring to they're asking parents to provide supplies?
Yes.
Okay. I will get your information and I'll learn a little bit more. Sometimes there's a supply list that some schools and some districts give to parents. And it works, and then other times it's a concern. So I want to be able to hear those concerns and then follow up with you on that.
Sure, that'd be great.
Ms. Baker, we need to hear the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I was asking about, I have 2 kids in the district, and sometimes the teachers are asking for school supplies for parents to provide school supplies to the kids. So we have a system in place for supplies, I hope. So that's just, I'll talk to her about that later. But it's kind of a concern, you know.
Good question, yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of an outsider, but still coming closer. So, I actually sit on the Small Business Council for LUSD.
Oh,
So, we actually have a small business advisory council to the superintendent, specifically to make sure that small business is included in all activities. After 1996, when affirmative action was ended, they enacted this in order to make sure that we have a goal to meet with gatherings. So we found a way to do that. More than happy to give you the actual motion and the policy across the entire district. So that way small businesses can actually part of within the region, right? So how do we get more small businesses so they don't feel like, hey, we're here, stop buying the big box from us.
yeah, yes, I would love that information. You know, I want to start a superintendent student committee. I'd love to have a, you know, small business leader supporting our activities on campus and being able to connect directly. So I love that you said you have the policy in the process, because that's important to kind of make sure it's developed. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is John Gutierrez, and I represent also 501c3, what we do economic development, training, and education. And we really want to expand into the schools, more entrepreneurship. Some of the challenge with entrepreneurship is people don't understand it because they think backwards. So they don't focus really on preparing, planning, from very just to deliver. And so what we do is we provide workshops, we provide curriculum. We have been doing it for 18 years, federally funded, the Department of Commerce. And so we like to extend that out to you to see how we can work with your school district and your schools to maybe create some entrepreneurship programs within your school district.
Absolutely.
School programs. So then we can actually get them either launching their business or even placing them inside existing so they can get the practical experience, not just the tax experience, but the practical.
I would love to talk more about that. I don't actually have business cards, but I would love to give you my work cell number if you're interested in following up. I'm great on text messaging and calls and all of that. Email is fine as well. But that would be a great way for us to get a follow-up meeting, or if you have a card, I'll do that as well. So, yes, and I'll take another question while I grab my phone. Go ahead, sure.
Like I mentioned, I'm a mental health therapist here at the La Mirada Counseling Center, and we just joined a partnership with La Mirada High School where we hold a teen substance diversion program to assist rather than discipline, and really just get under the root cause as to why children or teens are vaping so much. It's even infiltrating our middle schools, right? And so we partnered up with La Mirada High School, which they'll be having a referral program. We're right across the street, and I do believe that straight talk counseling is being underutilized. And right now we're in 7 schools in La Habra, Fullerton, and Bonaparte. But the reality is a lot of our students in North Colorado are really interested in social emotional learning. And I know that there is a high need for mental health services. There's a lot of things going on in the family system, and I come from a background of 7 years in investigating child abuse and neglect. I went to DCFS, and it's happening. It's happening in our city, and so our MFT interns are willing and able to go into the schools and provide extra support if that's something that you're ever interested in, to really get to the root cause. Because if we're focusing on absenteeism or substance use or things going on, there's usually a lot more in the root, and generationally that maybe somebody who's not tied into the school district as a teacher or as a school personnel, that really our students who are graduate level can really connect with them in a different way.
Absolutely. Yes, the supports and the partnering with the business community is very important. to making sure that kids have what they need, that families have what they need in order to go to the next level, right? So I do want to just give you my work cell for those interested. I would love to set up follow-up meetings so that I can learn more about what the opportunities are in the community, in your business, or your field of study. My work cell is 562-292-1704. Again, 562-292-1704, Natasha Baker. And my email is N as in Natasha Baker at nlmusd.org. You don't have to worry about texting late. I'm probably awake. So probably awake late and up early. So feel free to call or text anytime. Mrs. Lincoln-Walter.
Yes. Well, I'd like to just give a shout out to Dr. Baker that aside from the first board meeting, which was more or less an introduction, she wasn't even on the payroll yet. She has set up live streaming of our board meetings now. They're also archived. Yes. And I know you grew up in Southern California.
Yes.
Is there anything that kind of surprised you about our district? Anything unique about it that's hit you?
Yes. Yes, someone asked me that over the weekend. This is the first time I've worked in a school district where wherever I go, someone is blessing me, praying for me, saying kind things. It literally happens almost every meeting. I've never experienced that. So I always say, what I'm experiencing is like I've never worked for a district where you just feel the spirit everywhere. And so I just really have a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to build on that and go to the next level. I think he's prepared me to do what he's called me to do, but this is an environment and a context that's very healthy, very supportive, and so that's a little shocking because it's a school district, right? You don't anticipate that when you go into a community. So that's probably the thing that's very unique about Norwalk-La Mirada and what I'm experiencing as a new member of the community.
Dr. Baker, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy Black History Month.
Yes, thank you.
February is Black History Month. We recognize the diversity in our community and the wealth. I'm very impressed with your resume that you weren't to throw in. Thank you, school board. This is not a matter of DEI. We're in really tense times in our country. And so welcome.
Thank you.
The narrative of the African American contribution to the United States is extraordinary. We would never want that to go without mention. As a member of your cabinet, you inherited us. You have some really good candidates here. And so don't be afraid to make some changes. In fact, I can help you with that. Okay. So again, just welcome. God bless you. The Kiwanis Club, to Dan's point, that's why you're here, to build relationship, so that there's nothing the students lack that we can take care of.
Absolutely.
And so your nonprofits are there for you. The faith community should be there for you. So we love thoughts and prayers, but how about some backpacks?
Okay.
How about some school supplies and all those kind of things. So God bless you. Thank you, Bishop Ed Smith, for taking your time to bless us with an invocation. If you're interested, he's doing extraordinary things to, through, and with the faith community.
Thank you so much.